Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about The Batman vs. Dracula. And this movie came out in 2005 and was never released theatrically. It was a straight to DVD movie that came out, and it was based off of The Batman, the animated series. And I remember watching this movie as a kid when it was airing on TV, and I was like, oh, the Batman thing. And I liked watching The Batman, the animated show from 2004. I mostly wanted to check this movie out for nostalgic reasons, and I was like, okay, I've seen this, and I was not super familiar with the entire thing, even though I have seen the whole movie before, but it was kind of fun watching this movie and seeing like, oh, I remember this scene and I remember that, and I was actually kind of surprised as to how much I was able to remember about this movie. As I was watching, I was like, oh, I know where things are going, and it was all coming back to me, and it was kind of fun from that perspective. And I do like the cast in this movie. I do think it has a good cast overall. And I do kind of find it funny that in this movie, it's a movie about Batman fighting Dracula. And I was just thinking of Batman v Superman Dawn of Justice. One funny comparison about the two, even though I do think this movie is better than that, even though I don't think this movie's great. But going back to what I wanted to make is that there's more Batman fighting Dracula in this movie than there is Batman fighting Superman in Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice. Or at least it feels like you're getting more of what you paid for in this movie than that movie. And this movie's a lot shorter. It's like almost 80 minutes long, and it just flies by and delivers on what you would want and shows off of vampires taking over Gotham City, and that stuff is fun. And I do like the design of Gotham City. That's something that I always liked about this specific adaptation of Batman, even though that was kind of a thing from Batman the Animated Series, is the look of Gotham City. But on its own, for this movie and this whole like interpretation of Batman, it very much kind of felt like it was in the spirit of the Tim Burton movies, and I guess to some extent the Joel Schumacher movies, those Batman movies, and kind of taking the strengths of those and just doing their best. And that's how I kind of view this version of Batman in a sense. Like, it's not bad, it's not terrible, but there are some elements about it that I do feel could be improved. But I do like Alfred. I do think he's a good character to have in these movies, and I usually always like him. And there's actually a lot of time in this movie dedicated to just showing off Batman, and I was surprised by that and also kind of happy. And the movie isn't really about characters all that much. It's mostly just about what you would expect based on the title. You got two Batmen fighting each other. Batman and a Batman, basically. And I do want to mention the action scenes in this movie because they were better than I was expecting. I wasn't really expecting much because I didn't really remember a whole lot about this movie, but they're surprisingly fun to watch, and you can tell what's going on very clearly. Although the actions in which they kind of showcase is kind of a bit unbelievable at times because it does feel like these characters are just invincible almost. Characters literally get thrown against a wall and they're just almost fine. And I was like, I'm pretty sure that would either seriously injure you or possibly kill you. You just have to suspend disbelief at a couple points. And without spoiling too much about this movie, I do like how they include the Joker in this movie, and also the Penguins in it as well. But the Joker specifically, I kind of want to mention because it's just what they do with his character that I found to be really funny. And unfortunately, I don't want to spoil anything, so I have to keep it vague, but I just found it to be kind of funny. The dialogue in this movie isn't exactly great. It was kind of cringy at times, and I was like, it's kind of pushing it, and yeah, just was not really a fan of the dialogue in this movie for the most part. And also, Vicky Vale is in this movie, and she's kind of somewhat of a love interest character for Bruce Wayne, and that didn't need to be there. There's also some dated aspects to the movie that I'm not really going to get into. And also, there's some like tiny nitpicky things that are just like cartoon logic. And even in this movie, it's kind of like, I don't really buy that. And I don't want to spoil anything, so I have to keep it vague. Sorry about that, but there are some aspects that are just like, I don't know about that. And also, I did kind of find it funny that in this movie, to revive Dracula, all it took was one drop of blood. That was kind of funny to me. The only other issue that I have with this movie would be I do feel as though that the music was overused in this movie, and there's literally not one scene in this movie from memory where they don't use the music. And I was like, you can just tone it back just a little bit. Just give us one scene that's not an action scene or anything like that without music, because I do feel as though that would help the movie out a lot, because it does get kind of annoying the way that they use the music in this movie. It just kind of got a little bit annoying. And also a fun fact about this movie is that it kind of scared me as a kid, because just watching all these people turn into vampires and the way that they were portrayed, it was kind of violent for me. And I was like, this is kind of scary for me. And I'm not sure if this is necessarily the best movie to show to kids, but maybe older kids. Maybe that's the audience. And in a way, I guess this movie almost doesn't have an audience because in ways it's too violent for kids, but too kiddie in terms of the dialogue for adults. So doesn't really have an audience aside from me, I guess. And that's about all I have to say about The Batman versus Dracula. It was a fun double Batman movie. And I didn't think it was bad. I don't hate this movie. It's not great. It's not a masterpiece. But I do not regret watching it. And I may even watch it again at some point. I kind of liked it. So I would check it out even if it's not great. And I would recommend it to people. Only if you're a fan of the Batman animated series from 2004. If you like that show, then I think you'll like this. And if you like Batman, then I guess you can watch it. Just probably not for kids. So check this movie out would be my recommendation, despite how you might view my rating. And with all that being said, I'm going to give The Batman vs. Dracula a 5 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos. As always, if you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below your thought of The Batman vs. Dracula, and my social media links. They will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see you when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for Kinds of Kindness. So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.